everyone, welcome. This is going to be my first Redstone tutorial video on the channel, so I hope you guys like it. If you have any suggestions of different ways I should show this, please leave it down in the comments. And if you would like other farms, like certain farms that I could also do, also leave that down there. I'll be taking suggestions. If this video does well, I'm thinking I'll be doing the gold farm that I have on the Allcraft server, but decided we'll start off with the Omega Wool farm. So I hope you guys like the video. Okay, so first off, I'm going to show you how to build one layer of the wool farm and then connect it, also the item storage. So you could choose how high you want to go with this farm. It is stackable. You do want to have it chunk aligned, which I will show you at the end of the video how to find chunks, but that's just because you don't want the hopper minecarts to stop or anything else bad. But so this would be your next layer here. So I'll just show you how to build this, and I have the different colors of wool that differentiate a different part of the farm. So for rates, we got, this is an approximate because wool has, the way that this farm works is the sheep eat the grass as soon as sheep eat the grass, which updates the observer, making these dispensers with shears in them fire off. And that would keep going like that. So when the grass grows back, the sheep will eat it right away, making the observer go off again, making the shear dispense. And then you have the hopper minecart going underneath that puts all the wool into these dropper clocks, which drops all the wool into this centralized storage. So this will work with as many stacks of it as you want. There's no limit that you can have. So for rates, because it's an approximate, grass can grow between 10 seconds and 2 minutes. So if it were to do 10 seconds every time, you would get 5,760 wool an hour. But like I said, that's an approximate since it's randomized. Now for the farm that I have on the server, I believe it has 64 sheep, and each floor is 8 sheep, so it's 8 floors. I get 46,080 wool an hour, so probably way too much sheep. Yeah, way too much. But we'll start off with problems that can occur with this farm. So these are the dropper clocks right here, and a problem that can occur that I've seen occur is when you are coming in range and then going out of range when the observer ticks and the shears get dispensed. Sometimes the shears will stay out long enough for the minecart with the hopper to pick it up, and then it will head into the dropper. So there's nothing you can really do about that. One thing you can do maybe is just make an on and off switch for the farm, like having a redstone signal run between all of these, so that when you can turn it off. But this farm, for how I'm showing you, does not have an on or off. So let's start off with materials. So I have 2 different ones. So this chest will have everything that you need for one layer. So 8 dispensers, 8 droppers, 16 hoppers, 8 observers, 4 levers, 4 powered rails, 24 normal rails, 8 torches. This is just a precaution because some mobs will spawn on top of your farm at night in some places. A minecart with a hopper, 8 comparators, 16 repeaters, 28 grass blocks, 48 redstone dust, about a stack of glass, 3 stacks of blocks, and 4. By the way, the glass is not needed. It is just for decoration. And then you got 8 shears. Now, this chest you will only need 1 time. This is for the storage, so this is what is in the yellow wool down here, the water, and just the storage down here. So it's just simple storage. It hasn't been running long. So for that, you would need 2 buckets of water to make an infinite water source, 4 chests, 12 hoppers, or you don't really need 12 hoppers, but yeah, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 9 stacks of solid blocks. So now how about we get onto the farm? So first off, the first step of this farm is chunks. You have to find your chunks. So the white wool here is the chunk. So this farm goes along chunk borders. It's a 1 chunk farm. So I have just marked out 2 corners of the chunk here. And like I said, at the end of the video, I will put in how to find chunk borders. So it's really easy. Use this. I'll just explain it at the end. But so to start off, we'll be starting off with the storage part of this farm. So this is our, gosh, these notifications. So as you can see, we start off by going 3 blocks above. So go to one of your corners, go 3 blocks up, put your 4th block and destroy the 3 blocks under it. Now you will make this outline across the entire chunk. So if you just mark out the 2 corners like this, what I did, it's easy. You just do that to both corners and then have them line up. And then same thing over this side, because you want to get the entire chunk outlined with this. There you go. Next up, you have to build 3 high walls. Now this is just so water doesn't escape, and also so no mobs can get inside, because they will get stuck, because most of the areas are only 1 block above the water before you hit another block. So mobs will just get stuck, and I mean, they don't really ruin any raids or anything, but just so mobs don't get stuck in it. So we're going to continue building this 3 high wall all around. That's 2 sides. This also keeps items from falling out. Or, yeah. Most of the items will not, but, you know, just glitches sometimes. And it also just marks out a clear definition of your border for the chunk. Because you could just like go off of other chunks to find another chunk. So there we go, our 3 high wall. So next off, we have to fill in this whole floor here. This is where our water will be, which will push in the items towards the center, where we will have storage for the items. Like I said, these blocks can be any blocks. It does not have to be cobblestone. It is just any solid block. Building on mobile. But yeah, make sure you don't miss a block. That way all of our water is contained and that none of it can get out. I should probably also mention that this design is a little updated from the one that I have on the server. A little better with mobs, because on the server I didn't put torches and also didn't do this next step. Well, I did do this next step. All right, we got our whole floor in. So now you have to find the center of your chunk. So if you go by the walls, you're at 16 by 16. So find 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mark these 2. Or just go down. It's gonna need to be on the floor. And then do the same thing for an not opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Goes there. These got to line up in the middle. And then you will find your center 2x2 of the farm. All right, so we are going to get this done now. So what you want to do is come below, and we are going to place our chest first. So this is above here. So if you're looking towards the hole, go 1 block forward. That's where your chest goes. So just do 2 double chests like that. Start off, we'll have hoppers going into those chests. Wait, sorry, I did that 1 block too far away. Sorry about that. Now the reason you just have 2 hoppers running into this chest is instead of just having 1 is because if you do decide to go for stacking it, which is what this farm is mostly better at, you want to have your items go through at a better speed. And we have these 2 hoppers running into here. So the 2 hoppers just means it doesn't get backed up as quick. All right, so this is our storage setup. You could always continue going down with these chests and the hoppers. And if you did that, if you don't want it to be underground, you would just go up higher with this area. But now that that's done, we are ready to place in our water. So let's start off with that. Make sure that this is out here, or down 1 block from the rest of it. So along 1 wall, go all the way. Did I click water source somewhere? I think maybe I did. Nope, all seems fine. All right. But place water sources all along this. And if you don't know, let me show you how to make it a infinite water source. So just get a little 2x2 area. Place 1 water bucket here and another here. You can infinitely now collect water out of this. To get rid of it, you have to place blocks in it because it will always regenerate itself. Let's get rid of that. But now you have water that clashes like this. And it does have this kind of like straight line in the middle. Well, not in the middle, but you get what I'm going at. So now if you look here, we have these out parts on every one. So that's what we are going to do here as well. So we follow this. Sorry, you place your blocks, then that, place your blocks, water, same thing on these sides, place your blocks, water, and then place your blocks, and water. So now all your items should flow to the center of the hoppers. And now this area, or this part of the farm, is now complete. So now we're going to be going to building the layers of the farm. So for this part, I recommend building it all and then putting the sheep in. Easy way to get sheep in is minecarts and rails. It is pretty tedious. I should also mention that you could dye the sheep any color and it won't affect the farm at all. It just means you get a more variety of colors. But anyway, let's get started on that. So our supplies. Need all of this. shears. You can also put more shears in here, but it's only required to have 8 to start off with, just because the shears durability will go out and then you will have to refill them at one point. If you just have 9, that just means that you don't have to refill it as quick. Alright, but let's get started on this. So this is where redstone comes in. We're going to be starting off with the red part down here. So that is the dropper clock area. So you go to the top wall. From here, got 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it on the 5th one? Yeah, on the 5th one, you're going to place a block. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Bring these out till they meet. So it's 4 blocks out. This is going to be the area required for redstone. Now build each of these 3 wide. This is how big that your redstone will be. So each of them will take up this amount of area. So now you can do the same thing with each of your corners, and you will see that they connect. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could just do it like this and build it 3 wide or 6 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But when you are done, you will have a square in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So now we have the area where our dropper clocks are going to go. This water here, you don't really need it. It's just there just so the water pours into the center. So you could like block that off if you wanted to, or leave it open. Doesn't matter. But we are going to make that dropper clock. So start off by getting your droppers. They'll go into the center part of your 3 wide, up all the way at the front. Okay. Next off, to the left, place a block on all of them. All these dropper clocks are going to be symmetrical, the same thing. Next up, get a comparator and put it behind your dropper. Next off, place a repeater behind your comparator. You don't have to change the tick on it. Just leave it how it is. Oh, I already put it there. Put a block behind your repeaters. This will power the block. Next off, come behind this block here and place a repeater. You don't have to change the tick. Next up, get your redstone dust. Behind the single repeater, put 2, and starting at your comparator, put 3. So each of these will take up 5 redstone dust. And do that for all 8 dropper clocks. Now you will notice that the redstone does connect. You don't need to worry about that. It doesn't affect anything from what I can tell. Everything seems to work. Okay. Now your dropper... I placed a redstone somewhere. Your dropper clock system is now complete. So if we put an item in this dropper, it immediately spits it out. And you notice all the items went towards the center. So we could just leave that in there. All the items funnel into the center. This will happen with all of them. That's why the water is outside like that. And that will keep going until the dropper is out of items, which it is almost out. Next off, to avoid mob spawns, on these single blocks here, place a torch. This is just so you don't get mobs spawning on it. If you want to, you could also place some torches along your wall. I put it here just because the sun will be higher up in the air, but you don't have to worry about that. Oh, that's what I accidentally clicked. All right, yeah, make sure your comparator's not clicked either. So now we can put away these items for now. Next part of our system is the railway. So it is the green wool. So above every one of your droppers, you're going to want to crouch down and place a hopper. This is where your items from your minecart with a hopper will be funneling into your dropper clocks. See, we're hearing that farm go off. All right, and all the in-between blocks, you want to crouch down and place these blocks. So in between the hoppers and around the corners, you'll place 2 and then 1. This will end up creating a square around above your droppers. There we go. Now, you take your 4 powered rails and in front of each of the hoppers, just place a powered rail. Then, on the side, place a lever and power. Next, just get some rails and connect up the rest of them on top of this whole square, including on top of the hoppers. There we go. We won't put our hopper minecart in yet, just because it will get in the way for a minute. But we're moving on to the next stage, which is the sheep pods, which is where you'll need your glass. So just come to one of your tracks and place a piece of grass above it. Following this square, the same exact shape and size, you are going to place a grass block above each of them. This just increases the rate of how fast the grass will grow back. Now you can place your hopper minecart and get it going. As you can see, it will go around and won't stop. Yeah, so now we are at the time to start working on the sheep pens. But first we are going to get the redstone done for them. So above each hopper, the grass block that's there on the outside, put an observer with the face onto the grass. This will detect when the grass gets eaten by the sheep, when it will shear. Next, behind each of these blocks, behind each of the observers, place a block. This is how we will power the dispensers, by placing a piece of redstone dust on top of each of those blocks. Now you can come in here, place your dispenser, make sure it is facing inside towards the grass, one on top of each of the observers. There we go. The redstone for the sheep pens is complete. Now we need to build the actual pens. So you come to each of them. You need to build it like this. So you have this little area. And then this needs to be 2 tall with 1 glass above your dispenser. This is so that the sheep cannot get out and it stays still while waiting for the grass to grow back. So we will just build this on top of all of the grass and dispensers. Okay, so now we have all our sheep pods separated. So what you would want to do now is, if you're in survival and you wanted to do it, what you could do is, like I said, minecart with a rail. But since we're in creative, we could literally just drop sheep in here. Make sure you drop them into the holes that have dispensers and not these holes down here. These are just the holes in between the glass for the pods. Nice, we got a pink sheep. All right, so you could wait for this part of the farm, like I said, but I'm just going to show you how to cover them up. So you'll just need 1 block above them, above the sheep. Accidentally destroyed that. You're not escaping. But this is to keep the sheep inside, and they don't jump too much when trying to get sheared. Now all of our sheep are secure. All the redstone is now complete for this farm, so if you are not going to stack this farm, you are done. If you are going to stack it though, let me show, stack height-wise, let me show you how you go to separate them. Except, if you are done now, you can put your shears inside each of the dispensers. Later, and now each of our dispensers has 1 shear. Like I said, the shear will last quite a while. And yeah, so now for stacking these. Stacking them can be a little bit difficult because with the dropper clocks, items can fly inside the crevices where the hopper minecart isn't. So that is what this purple wool is here. This is our dividing system for it. So if we come here, as you can see from this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do this on all of these inlets here. There we go. Now, in these here, 1, 2, 3, high. This is to make sure that none of the wool can escape. Now, this is enough so that your platforms would be on top of these. So it'd be here, so your 3 here, and then it'd be like that. And you would continue building up like that, and your dispensers or droppers would sit on top of here. So it's like this is part of the wall, kind of. But you don't need anything like that from the bottom. But guys, now the tutorial is now complete. If you liked the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But the video is not over yet, as now I can show you how to find chunk borders. Actually, let's see how much wool this is gathered. I know a stack. That was from earlier. See, so just in the time since setup, we already got 7 wool in there. Oh, lag spike. 7 wool already. But now let's go on to chunk base to show you how to find your chunk. So we are on chunk base now, and this is how you could find all of your chunks, slime chunks, everything. So just go on to apps. You don't have to download anything for this. And you will see here all of these different things. So you could use to find these chunk base to find structures as well. But we are going to be mostly using this just for finding out the difference between the chunks so that our redstone farms don't break. So we can just click on the spawn chunks reader. And on this old, don't need that. No, sorry, wrong one. I just click the slime chunk. And all those green ones are slime chunks. You don't need to worry about that though. You can click Bedrock Edition and see it's an interactive map. So you don't need the seed because we're just trying to find out the chunks. So let's say our X was 235 and our Z was negative 76. We click go. The red dot is us. So this right here is showing us which chunk it is. We click the chunk, and down here the numbers where it says chunk 14-5, that's like the name of the chunk. That's how you identify the chunk. And these other two numbers, 224 to negative 80 to 239 - 65, those are the two opposing corners of your chunk. So you could use this to separate your chunks for farms. And it is really helpful because you don't want your farms to break because of being on chunk borders.